Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in the prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 85% of your trading profits. Finally, a rule we know swing traders will love: you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, get 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1Trading15. That's 15% off any account challenge with code A1Trading15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can also find it in the description down below. So go ahead and get signed up today for 15% off with promo code A1Trading15. Now, back to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another A1 Trading Show here. We are joined by James. Hey, James, what's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. What's going on with you?
Not a lot. And we, of course, are just a bit of the way here out from some pretty big news. What are we looking at here today, James?
Today, we have unemployment claims. That is a reoccurring Thursday event here where we'll get the number of people who have filed for unemployment, which is a pretty good indicator of kind of what the jobs market is looking like and what the economy could be looking like moving forward. You know, if more people are filing for unemployment, that may not be such a good thing for the economy as people are out of jobs, people aren't spending as much money, not as much money circling through the economy. So this number is a very good indicator of not only what the jobs market is looking like, but potential for the economy here in the next week, upcoming weeks as well.
Yep. So we are about to get that number in just about 11 minutes or so. Should be an interesting piece of information. It's been a relatively quiet week, though. Things kick up a notch next week. James, what do we have? It is Thursday, so we're kind of in and out the week. What's an overview of next week's kind of what we're looking at?
So next week, starting off Monday, we have a big one. We have our PMI day, where each day that we get the PMI report, we always have this Eurozone PMI with French and German flash manufacturing and flash sales PMI, as well as UK PMI numbers, flash manufacturing and flash services as well. And of course, US PMI numbers as well. So that is Monday. That'll be a big one. On Tuesday, we have CB consumer confidence for the US and a little bit of Australian CPI, although that'll be happening late at night over here on the East Coast. Wednesday, we have FOMC. That'll be the biggest event of the week. FOMC is always a huge event where the Federal Reserve releases the new United States interest rate decision. So all eyes will be on FOMC on Wednesday. That'll be a big one. And that's that's a afternoon stream as well. I'll point that out. 2 p.m. over here, 2 p.m. Eastern time over here in the U.S. where we are. So that'll be an afternoon stream, not a morning stream, but FOMC is definitely going to be a big market mover. Thursday, the Eurozone is also getting their new monetary policy statement here, their new interest rate decision, as well as unemployment claims on Thursday again, and advanced GDP. So we're going to have 2 big days back to back with FOMC and those GDP and unemployment claims numbers. And then the Bank of Japan is also going to release their monetary policy statement, although that'll be late at night over here on the East Coast as well. Finally, wrapping it up on Friday, we have even more news. We're going to have a very busy news week next week. We have Canadian GDP numbers, U.S. core PCE price index, and employment cost index as well. And we also have revised consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So that perhaps could be a longer stream than normal on Friday to send you off into the week. We like doing those longer streams sometimes when there's lots of news to cover because there's lots of stuff moving in the market. So those are always good streams to have.
Yep, definitely sounds like next week is going to be very busy,
Yes, it
but
is.
markets are still making significant moves here today. James, I'm going to jump into some charts here now, and maybe today we could actually do some Twitter response reads once we get to the end of the stream. So we said that we were going to do that yesterday, so maybe we can have that pulled up in the end of the stream after we say goodbye to Ivan later on. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Sure.
Cool. Okay, James, thank you for coming in and giving us the news. Guys, I want to pivot over to some charts, and James, we'll catch you back later on in the stream.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, guys, chart I've got pulled up here. This is the volatility index. This is the commonly referred to as the VIX. The VIX is up today, and what that immediately tells me to look at is, well, let's take a look at that dollar, see if volatility is up on that, but then also notably, why and what else could be moving? Well, probably indices probably making substantial moves. And I just happen to know that Tesla reported its earnings and there was some disappointment there. So actually, an unlikely candidate for the stream, I want to show you guys where Tesla is trading currently. You can see this, the stock market has not yet opened. And what you can see here is this orange line represents where price is going to open up for Tesla. So clearly a big drop on Tesla here this morning as earnings were not that impressive. So again, this is an hourly chart for Tesla, traded up to 299, just shy of 300, gave back some of those gains here today on earnings that were, I guess, somewhat disappointing to the market. Why am I mentioning that to people who trade indices and currencies and things like that? Well, because it matters. Because if you look at the indices, the market didn't like this. Here is the NASDAQ. Taking a look now at this chart here, which has been in an indestructible uptrend. It does seem like it's had a little bit of challenge here to it. This is a 4-hour chart for those of you guys. We're going to start fresh on NAS. If you watch NAS, you know, you guys who watch streams regularly, you know, I really like trading the NASDAQ. It's one of my top favorite things to trade. It's pulling back probably to an area where I could potentially look for an entry. So I am looking at NASDAQ today. If we can get a little bit more of a decline, I might be intrigued by that. And again, we have unemployment numbers coming out in unemployment claims coming out in 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah. Goodbye to Ivan. Ivan is not going anywhere. I meant after his segment on the show ends later on. We've got our lineup. Ivan is coming on today. I don't know if we're going to get Frank. Probably not. We have Ivan coming in. NASDAQ has a gap to fill. Yeah, NASDAQ probably has some room here to come back down. And like I said, I am actually still very much interested on the long side, but I'd probably wait just a bit more here, see if I can get a retest of market structure around 15,650, somewhere in this region. Again, looking left, you can see that we had a pretty significant level of resistance, right? Price was able to pivot and find support there. And now as this candle comes back into play, I do think that, you know, buyers might be willing to try and pick it up again here. So I'm actually looking to be a buyer myself if we do see the NAS continue to come down a little bit further here. Let's take a quick look at the dollar, guys. Here is DXY making a move here this morning. And again, remember, I mentioned the VIX to start out the day. The VIX was up. The dollar is making a move up as well, showing a little bit of perhaps some risk-off concerns coming in. Again, some earnings that were not super spectacular from Tesla. And we are seeing kind of earnings come in around the stock world. And again, earnings are a big thing. I mean, even if you are a currency trader, it's you know, sometimes people like to shrug off other markets. They're like, oh, I don't trade stocks. They don't trade the way I like to. Well, stocks make impact on forex. Forex makes impact on stocks. They all kind of communicate with one another in some way or another. And so earnings coming out will have some impact on things like the dollar, you know, gold, etc. So dollar is trading up here this morning, although I still do like the dollar bearish side of things. I'm probably not willing to short the dollar. I do think, like I mentioned, I'm looking for NAS pullbacks and I'm looking for gold pullbacks as well. Let's take a look at gold here in reference to this dollar tick up. Gold finding what seems to be a short-term top. And I like to see this because I have mentioned yesterday on stream, I was very vocal. I'm looking for pullbacks on gold. This 38.2% retracement now actually looks a little bit more reasonable for possibly an attempt on the long side. So what I mean by that is an attempt, meaning First of all, if you're newer to my streams, there's 456 of you. Some of you are probably very new. Can you guys do me a quick favor? In the chat, let us know, how long have you been trading? 1 month, 6 months, a year, 2 years? Comment real quick in the chat. Just light up the chat with how long you've been doing it. Let us know. Let's share in the chat. Let's get a vibe check, I guess, on level of experience. It'll impact a little bit of how I explain my things. If I know there's more advanced traders in the audience, I'll spend less time on tactics. Thank you guys for that. So we got 1 year, over a year, 2 years, 5 years, 6 months, 1 month, 3 years, 1 year, 2 months, 2 years, 4 months. Okay, cool. So we've got a variety of people here. If you're new to this stuff, what I make reference to often is oftentimes I will try more than once to try and find a buy now, or a sell if I'm looking to sell something, right? So for example, let's say that I take a look at gold and I'm bullish on gold and I say, okay, I like the idea of potentially picking up a gold long trade, but I understand that it is a quote unquote try or an attempt to go long gold, fully aware of the fact that just because I have a level drawn on my chart does not mean the markets can't cause some new news or some volatility that could perhaps cause my trade to hit stops, right? If you think your stop loss is not going to get hit or it's indestructible, it's going to be a tough time for you. It's best, in my opinion, to plan for, hey, what if this stop loss does get hit? What am I going to do? You should always be asking yourself first, what am I going to do if I'm wrong in a trade? Before you even ask, what am I going to do if I'm right? It's really important. So newer traders, just pay attention to, I'm not out here driving Lamborghinis and stacking cash on my tables and telling you that it's easy. This stuff is hard. This stuff is really hard. And if you're very new, then I just want to let you know, you have a very long road ahead of you. It's like a 4-year college degree minimum. And for some new people, they're like, okay, actually, you know what? I'm just going to politely bow out. I don't want to put that much effort into something like that. And again, it's probably best that you know that up front. We try and stay transparent on the show. If you have a passion for this stuff, though, many of you guys have been saying you've been doing this for a while and you do want to learn, I want to invite you. We have 500 people here and we're about a minute out from the news, actually less. Let me get set up for the news. I want to invite you guys, please hit that subscribe button if you're newer to the streams, whether you're watching on my channel, Trader Nick. We're also streaming on another channel at the same time, A1 Trading, our company's YouTube channel. I'm going to pull up some charts here, guys. We are coming into the news. And again, let's see, we've got 20 seconds. So I'm just going to try and get everything set up. So we're going to go 15-minute charts. We'll see if unemployment claims do have some impact. We're about 10 seconds out. Let's do our breaking news. All right, and here we go. We'll see if we get some volatility. Numbers should be coming out. New candle has just started to print. DXY making a little bit of a positive move, and gold, some volatility. NASDAQ actually did a little gap, at least on this broker. Euro dollar making a move down. Dollar index making a move up. And let's see, is that anything significant? That was 10 pips there on the euro. Nothing substantial, but a bit of volatility there. Now, guys, I will say unemployment claims, not always the biggest market mover, but don't be mistaken. This can still cause some volatility to pick up for the remaining New York session. We are just getting started here in the New York session. So again, let's take a look at the numbers here. We do have the numbers coming in, 228,000 compared to the forecasted 239,000. So we had a lower than expected number. So what does that do to the markets? Well, 228,000, that is, of course, people filing for unemployment rising would be not so great for the U.S. economy and probably cause the dollar to sink. Well, this number being a healthy 228,000 compared to the less than forecast is causing a bit of dollar rally, right? As the U.S. economy is looking a bit, the resiliency of the U.S. jobs market seems to be ticking up a little bit. So again, gold being put under pressure under this. And honestly, I'm going to be taking this personally, guys, as an opportunity to possibly pick up some pullbacks. I've mentioned I want gold on the long side. My first attempt, I'm looking at 1971.5. If I do take this trade, you guys will see it inside of our Discord channel. And let me take a moment here, guys, to remind you that if you're not already in our Discord channel, we have a free Discord channel available. We're going to drop the link in the chat right now. I'm going to have the producers do that for us. Thank you to the producers. Click this link, guys. If you click this link, if you would, well, we do have a free forex course as well, if that's something you're interested in. But we also have a free Discord channel, and that free Discord channel is right here. So click this link. Thank you to the producer. Join our free Discord channel. If you click this link, it will take you to our Discord channel where, again, a lot of cool stuff is happening. Now, if you're a VIP member in the Discord, you can, of course, see the trades that I'm taking in real time. You get updates, notifications, analysis, breakdowns, as well as Frank's Trades, who is my trading partner who comes on the show pretty often. We work in a studio office together here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we, of course, run a trade room. So if you'd like to join that trade room, there's a free version and a VIP version, but definitely make sure to join the free one at the very least. Again, just fill out that form. It will send you the direct link to join the free Discord channel, which has plenty of free great value as well. All right, so gold pulling back here, 38.2% is kind of my first spot on gold. I'm looking at that this morning here. We're looking at a 4-hour chart, dropping it down to the 1 hour. Again, we can kind of see what's been going on. It does look like we ran out of steam, I guess, right around 1987. Didn't quite make it up to that 2000 mark, and now retreating. I still think we probably make a move back to the 2000s. And so this pullback I'm looking at as an opportunity. Is that a certainty? No, I could be completely wrong. So please do not copy trades. Do not, just blind follow anybody you see on social media. I am, I've been doing this for a number of years, but I understand fully that my trades can be wrong. And if they are wrong, I'm going to risk a very small amount on the trade so that I don't put myself into, the poorhouse with a single trade. That is, again, a trading mistake that many new traders find themselves doing, right? Putting too much size on a single trade. It's when it comes to trading, it's very important to essentially spread your bets over many, many trades with a defined edge that you have through your back testing. If you haven't done that, that is the key. That is the secret for some of you new people. Back testing, building a profitable strategy, and then applying small risk per trade over many, many trades. I've been doing this for a number of years. I feel like a broken record. I've said these same things, but if you're hearing them for the first time, that's why I keep saying them. I'm hoping to get through to some of the newer people out there. And again, I want to just remind you, if you're newer to the streams, please subscribe. At this point, I absolutely love what I do on YouTube. I share my trading journey every single day, and I share tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. This is free game. This is free stuff for you guys. If you are an aspiring trader, I was in your shoes one period, and again, I've structured my channel to try and really take people or help people get to the next level. I can't do it for you. I'm not here to do your homework, but I share my journey, and I hope that me sharing what I'm doing trade wise and experience wise offers some help to some people out there. So GU buy, someone said in the chat. Let's take a look at pound USD. Let's take a look here this morning, daily chart first. Big sell-off. I talked about this on a podcast episode I did with the Market Insights podcast crew. I went on their show yesterday. We talked a little bit about the pound. And again, CPI came out real better than expected for the UK. Inflation was seen falling in yesterday's report. Now, why does that matter to the pound USD? Well, fundamentalists in the room. Why? Here's your chance, guys. 477 of you guys, fundamentalists or fundamental analysis people who are looking to get better at this. Tell me, why does this CPI report coming down, why does that make the pound also go down, right? Wouldn't inflation being, going higher, wouldn't that, what would that do? I'm sorry. Inflation came down, right? It was better than expected. It was lower than it was expected to be year over year. Why does that cause the pound to go down? Let us know in the chat. That's your quiz question here for the day. And I do also want to take a look at that. So let's go. I'll give you guys a little bit of where we are at with UK inflation. Let's go look at specifically the pound USD here. So pound USD, first of all, on the EDGEFINDER is kind of a neutral trade setup. So I don't really have anything here that makes me want to go long or short at this time. Inflation data came down to 7.9%. Now, this is still high compared to the United States. So when it comes to this, in terms of an inflation period, I think the central bank still has more work to do, as some of you guys here in the chat seem to be saying. Interest rates, says Tom. Ty says interest rates. Can you, we may move to yen pairs. It means interest rates going to decrease soon. Yeah, so inflation came out lower than expected. and that takes some pressure off the central bank to raise rates. You have to remember, if you're a new or experienced fundamentalist when it comes to this stuff, rising interest rates cause appreciation usually on the currency, as interest related products, mortgages, loans, bonds, these things start to become more attractive for investment. And that's what causes demand for the currency. Okay. So inflation did tick down in the UK, but it is still much higher than the US's 3%. We're comparing this using the EDGEFINDER. And if you guys do not already have or have heard of the EDGEFINDER, it is our company's market software. My company, A1 Trading, we build software tools for traders. I've been a trader for a number of years, and in the last 3 or so years, we've been really heavily investing in building next level trading tools for the everyday trader. What we're looking at right now is the COT report, which the COT report gives us an idea as to what pros, hedge fund managers, and asset managers are buying and selling in the financial markets, according to the CFTC's commitment of traders data. Now, why does this matter? Well, again, if we know the pros are going long something, that might give us a little bit more of a reason to perhaps look at it on the bullish side ourselves. Is it a guarantee that it'll keep going up? No, but it's a nice confluence factor to add to our trades. So if we take a look at the yen, for example, the yen, as someone just asked about yen pairs, is incredibly, incredibly shorted or sold by institutional level traders on the futures market. That tells us that there's a bias or a lean heavily on the short side for the Japanese yen. And of course, guys, feel free to pause the live stream to take a look at this data. If you don't have access to our software, I'm going to have the producers here while we go over this. We're going to drop this in the chat right now. This is a way for you to get more information and perhaps get access to our free course that we have with the EDGEFINDER. If you would like to fully understand what we're looking at, all of this software, there's a lot to it. This is about 1.5 years of development work that our team has put together. And we're dropping a link right now here in the chat to get you some free exposure to the product. You can try out the EDGEFINDER, you test it out, take a look at it for yourself. Click this link right here, this form here. When you click that, fill it out. It will connect you with someone on our team who can set you up with a tour, who can share training material to your email right away. So if you would like more information about our software that I'm pulling up on the screen right now, please click that link, fill it out, and someone will help you out with that. So again, if we're looking at like the pound, right? The pound, very long by institutional traders. Same with USD, same with Euro, same with gold. On the other side, some of the weaker currency side of things, the Australian dollar, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, the S&P still kind of in the bearish camp. And that's kind of interesting to me. Perhaps we'll talk about that with Frank in a moment. NAS 100, leaning bullish, which is interesting. Part of the reason why I'm looking for that pullback, as I'm sure Frank and I will discuss on these indices, pulling back here this morning, is there an opportunity there? Last thing I'll show you is we do also, of course, have retail sentiment. This gives us an idea as to what retail traders are buying or selling. So for those of you guys who were asking me about the pound or the euro, again, here's the euro. Euro is very, very much shorted. This is a heavily crowded short trade by retail traders. That actually gives me more of a bullish lean when looking at something like the euro dollar. So if this pulls back, euro dollar, retail traders are shorting it. I'm actually looking to get long. And again, that's not trying to be evil or anything. It's just the reality is that retail traders typically, amateur traders, they typically lose money. And so if they're all shorting something, I like to use that as a potentially bullish indicator. Again, I do also want to say one more thing before we bring Frank in to take a look at some stuff. Let's do this. We currently have a 55% off discount going on right now, and it is ending tomorrow. So if you've been watching my videos or the A1 Trading Show live channel, live streams like you're watching right now, if you have been watching us and you've been thinking about getting access to the tool, this is fair warning. We do have 2 days left before there is no longer a sale, a 55% discount on the EDGEFINDER. We are closing that up, and we are likely not going to be doing another sale this big for the rest of the year. 55% is probably the peak we will ever do for a sale. And I genuinely mean that. Like, I don't think we'll ever go more than 55. So if you want access to that 55% discount, this is how you do so. Click this link. The sale ends in 2 days. Send us a direct message using the link that just got dropped here in the live chat. And if you're watching this video back at a later point after the show. It will be linked in the description as well. So take advantage, shoot us a message and let us know you'd like to take advantage of that 55% off before the 2 days left end and the price goes back to its usual rate. So again, there is your opportunity. Fair warning. Just we get messages at the end of every sale like, hey, I missed it. Can I get it? And we have to like, get frustrated with people because it's like, you had your chance. Just don't miss it. Anyways, we're going to bring in Frank now. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsor that is making this show possible. We are not able to put on these shows for free. So they're free for you guys at home. We want to make sure that that always stays the case. So we rely on sponsors. Now, what you're about to see is a way to get access to the EDGEFINDER 100% for free if you sign up with our partnered broker. And here's more information. And then we're going to come back and talk about gold. So right after this, we'll be joined back with Frank.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we are back here, and gold is, speaking of back, it is pulling back pretty hard here this morning. Hey, Frank, what's going on, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, are you still trading gold at all?
No, I trailed out of it, but it was on that last pullback from yesterday with that long wick.
Okay, got it. But that was a profitable
yeah,
trade for you, right?
That was a nice trail out. I'm kind of liking it now, seeing it pull back harder. Maybe if it comes up and makes another higher low, that would be a good sign. But I'm still bullish on gold and stocks overall, but earnings season is just going to be pretty messy for the markets overall. Even we saw beat in claims, which is probably, I guess it would be mixed sentiment because we're trying to wait to see what the Fed's going to do. Like better economic numbers is probably a sign that like, oh, maybe they want to hike more, but CPI and core is complying with their hikes. So kind of mixed overall. I think investors are just betting on another one this month anyways, another hike at least. And then Tesla.
I think the Fed Watch tool has us at 90% chance of another rate hike. So, and then you mentioned Tesla. What was that
was like a big earnings news event for the NASDAQ. And so they beat earnings, but their profit margin slid again. So same thing as last quarter where Tesla's just, I guess, kind of disappointing investors in some way, but I think this is just a short-term kind of sell-off. And so still got my overall bias and looking at pullbacks, looking for some confirmation though to the upside. So NAS looks pretty bearish right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Frank, it is a nice day for pullbacks, I guess. It is, we've got NASDAQ pulling back, as you mentioned, that Tesla news kind of dragging down. Crazy to think about that, Frank. I mean, you and I, years and years ago, we discussed, looking at Tesla stock before it was anything. And crazy to think that here we are now on a show talking about how Tesla is now dragging down the NASDAQ. That is a crazy change of events. Frank and I, there's a video somewhere piled on my YouTube channel of a time Frank and I just visited a Tesla dealership. We've always thought the cars were super cool, and we went and just checked out the cars one day. And we may have to pull that video up, Frank. That was may find that someday. That was a fun day. But yeah, so NASDAQ pulling back. I'm kind of interested in the NAS and gold. I might actually be taking a double trade here today if price comes down just a little bit more there. Also, I do want to respond. There were a couple people in the chat that had questions about what we just said with the 8cap partnership. So just to clarify, in the 8cap partnership, you're not paying money for the EDGEFINDER. If you sign up for an 8cap account and you do sign up with and you deposit a certain amount of money, there is information you can get by messaging us. So if you want access to the 8cap EDGEFINDER free promotion that we have going on right now, just message us and someone from our team will walk you through it, but you don't have to pay anything. You just have to deposit into your brokerage account, which 8cap is a regulated broker. Unfortunately, it's not available to US clients. It's a non-US only broker. So yes, let's also see something else. There was one other person that asked about, Trayvon asked about gold membership. Can I get 55% off the gold? Trayvon, just message us and we can probably work that out for you. You've been awesome on the show for a long time. So just had to do some responses there on that. But Frank, I wanted to ask you there also on gold. Would you be interested in picking it back up here on this dip today, or would you try and wait for a deeper retracement? What do you think?
I don't know. It will probably be a later on kind of decision, but I mean, I want to get back in it. So I guess maybe the sooner the better, but I got to see something. I got to see this 4 hour at least show some rejection or go down to the 1 hour and see some kind of bullish, reversal, I guess. But I think it's just too hard to tell right now. But yeah, so gold and S&P, I think I would like to see the S&P come down to the 4530s. So that would probably mean if the S&P falls, gold and NAS are going to do the same. So maybe gold will come down harder. But there's just this previous top that I like. And I think it's breaking out of this sort of zone it's been in. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the S&P. I think for me, it's like 45-25 range. Looks interesting if we got that retracement. This is a 4 hour chart, of course. I mean, it's just been in a strong run. And I do think, Frank, I sold calls on a couple positions. I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. My Tesla calls that I sold are doing all right. It was partially just a reaction, not necessarily to wanting to short the market by any means. Like I'm not looking to short NAS or anything like that, but I sold calls on a couple stocks. I sold calls on Starbucks. I sold calls on Tesla, and I sold calls on Amazon and collected some premium for that. And with this pullback, again, it's just kind of like this market looks like it's still very bullish, but it's just hard when it goes straight up like this. It needs to have a corrective period. It needs to have some sort of consolidation before I'm really interested in potentially picking it up long. I think, to play devil's advocate to our own concept here, Frank, of potentially looking at longs, if this thing does start to tumble, you probably have 5 or 6% to give back on the NASDAQ before it really gets looked at by, bigger, longer term buyers. But I think I'm still willing to give it another momentum shot. As long as this momentum doesn't crack, I would say personally, if price is able to break down underneath like 15,500, that would probably be okay, let me step away and get out of the way for a minute here approach. How would you, so let's say, Frank, the NASDAQ gives you a pullback or the S&P pulls back, either one, you could share your charts and just show us kind of where you'd be looking to enter and what would be your point of like, okay, let me stop out of this guy.
Okay, so I like this spot right here in the green. So like I said, the 4530s, just a big demand zone. But I mean, if price comes below that, then we have a couple other levels, low 45s, just under 45, and then this previous top maybe paired with the trend line, 4460, 4470. I think what we have to watch out for is besides earnings, that probability that investors are expecting another hike is pretty high. So I think maybe going into next week, it's going to be pretty volatile and maybe even bearish up until then. But I think, like what we've been saying, yes, it's bullish overall. And this hike that we're about to most likely see from the Fed could just be a security hike because everything's coming down like according to plan. Everything's moving the way the Fed wants it to. But maybe one more hike will be like the nail in the coffin, I guess, and be the extra reassurance that we're going to get down to that 2% inflation target in time. And I think investors are just going to have to sort of price this in. And we've also seen an incredible run, so there's a lot of profit taking. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, besides this dip down to here, like 0.5%, if we saw another 1% or 2% drop from there. So I think anywhere in this range is still pretty bullish for me.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that, Frank. And I want to let you go so you get back to whatever you're doing here off camera. So thank you for coming back on the show as always, guys. You always request some Frank time, so there's your Frank time for the day. Frank, thanks for coming on. We'll see you back on the next one.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. Context for newer viewers. We know there's always people that are newer to the show. Frank, who just, of course, was with me here. He's been my trading partner for a number of years. He now works on the design team behind the scenes here at A1 Trading, where, we're building these software tools and things like that together. So he's also, I mentioned it earlier, but inside of our Discord channel, Frank is sharing his trades. So, if you're in the group, you can always just go over to swing trades and see what he's in. So he's in an S&P 500 trade. I think, did he trail out of this one? Let's actually, I didn't ask him this, but 45.51. Let's see, 45.51 SPX 500. 45.51. So he's still in this one. He's got to stop just below market structure. So he's trailing that one. So he's in a profitable trade. The last couple of days, Frank has had some way better trades than me. It's kind of a running joke. Sometimes I'm in the good trades. Sometimes Frank's in the good trades. Sometimes we're just both in losing trades. It just kind of depends. I will say it's pretty invaluable having someone to trade with. And we've tried to create a community together on Discord over the years that has really brought a lot of great people together. I do genuinely mean that if you are looking for people to trade alongside, if you're looking to learn alongside Frank and myself, I do encourage anyone to join the Discord channel. I'm messaging in Discord, not responding. If you're messaging me, please do not message me on Discord. There's a lot of scammers that fake my profile, and I do not usually spend much time messaging people. If you guys have any questions about anything, please always make sure to direct message us on our website only. Chandler, if you don't mind dropping that link one more time for anybody. If you'd like to get in contact with us, please message us now, and please do not ever direct message or try and direct message me, because number one, I am not very good with DMs. I'm very busy. But number two, there's a lot of fake profiles, and you might be messaging somebody who's going to try and scam you. So please do not message anybody like that. If you ever have questions, message us here. James, I can hear you in the stream. What's going on, James?
Hey, yeah, I don't know how you could hear me if I wasn't added, but I was going to.
I think you were added somehow.
Yeah, so I was popping in here because I was going to show off some of the tweet replies really quickly. I sent out a tweet actually. So here, let me get this pulled up right here. I'm going to share this with you all. This is our Twitter.
James, while you get started, sorry, I just want to say, let's bring Ivan in for this. I think he'll enjoy this as well before we get his comments on it. Hey, Ivan, what's going on, man? I saw you back there.
Hey, I have no clue what is going on. So I'm like, cool. What's going on, bro?
I think you'll enjoy this, Ivan. So James and I had the idea to kind of pull our audience and ask a question to the audience on our Twitter page. Ivan, do you use Twitter? Because you need to get on there, man.
Oh, I definitely have an account there. If I use it, that's a whole lot of discussion.
I know. I think we tag sometimes, tag you sometimes,
It's a
and
long time ago.
we're always left on red. We never get a response from the man himself. If you get on there, maybe these guys on the reels and stuff, they'll tag you more often. They'll be like, "Hey, more incentivized to get." Yeah, but anyways, we have a thing that James wants to show. So James, continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, so I put this tweet out just a little bit ago, just a few minutes ago. What is your favorite pair to trade and your least favorite pair to trade? Tell us down below. We haven't gotten any responses on this one yet, but we did put out a tweet yesterday that we got a lot of responses on. So I think that we'll go over some of those because we still have to pick a winner. We did not pick a winner to get the 1 month free VIP Discord access yesterday, so we can do that together. But while you're on the Twitter, go tell us what your favorite currency pair is and what your least favorite currency pair is. Maybe you have a story about it. Maybe you caught, a really big trade on Euro USD, and since then, Euro USD has always just been your favorite pair to trade, or maybe it's the opposite. You have a least favorite pair to trade because you had a really bad experience one time trading a currency pair. We'd like to hear your stories down there. So you can go follow us at A1 Trading _ right there and respond down to that. This is something that we're going to do a little bit more frequently, but we can check out the replies that we got on yesterday's tweet right here. What's one thing you wish you knew before you started trading? And we said that the best answer gets a free month in our VIP Discord. So we got a few replies here. We can go through some of them together. We'll just start off up top. Ryan Burry says, I wish I knew trying to conquer Asia in risk was the worst idea possible. Knowing this would have saved many ass beatings. LOL. Anybody care to comment on what Ryan had to say there?
That's a good start. We've got several to go through. So
we got several to go through. So we'll run through these kind of quickly. Andrew says realistic returns expectation of 1% to 2% a month and 10% to 20% a year. So maybe he had some higher expectations for what he would be getting in return in a month and learn to lower those expectations to 1% to 2% a month, which is slow, gradual growth. Hannah says, trade for the future, not for now. Seeing it as a number instead of immediate money helps you make smarter long-term decisions and manage greed and risk better, as you're not hoping for massive amounts to spend that week. Small compound gains over time for the future. I like that one a lot. That one, again, is about realistic expectations when it comes to getting returns on your trades. So that one's a contender for me right there. C. Miguel says, I wish I knew the EDGEFINDER exists. Would have saved me a lot of money. And that is not an endorsement or a paid endorsement, people. That is a genuine endorsement of the EDGEFINDER right there. Already a VIP member. So, can't give out a second VIP member to somebody who's already a VIP member. Analysis, away from social media along with patience and discipline will pay off in the long time. I appreciate insight, but blindly following ain't the way to go. So we have lots of really good comments, replies down here. The tweet is still up, of course, on our page at A1 Trading _ So if you want to look at the rest of these replies and see what people wish they knew before they started trading, you can go do that. But I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. I know that you and Ivan need to get back into the charts. So let's scroll through here and pick a winner. We have our friend Jason Webb here. Jason Webb is a recurring member of our live stream community and our chat. So always good to see Jason Webb in there. And you know what? From the top replies that I got reading it, I kind of liked Hannah's answer about realistic returns. Trade for the future, not for now. Seeing it as a number instead of immediate money helps you make smarter long-term decisions and manage greed and risk better, as you're not hoping for massive amounts to spend that week. Small compound gains over time for the future. I thought that was a pretty good reply and a pretty realistic expectation. So what do you guys think? Is Hannah our winner for our 1 month free VIP Discord giveaway?
So here's what I would say. I would say, James, you've got Hannah. I personally liked unplugged message, which I think is especially relevant. We've been talking about this recently. Don't blind copy people, essentially, is what he was saying. I think that's a really important plug, especially when watching these live streams. Know that Ivan and I are not magicians. We are wrong on trades sometimes. And anybody else that we bring on the guest, doesn't matter who you brought on. You could bring on, anybody, and they're going to have losses. So blind copying is a tough way. So I think, Ivan, you could be our tiebreaker here. Between those two, which one do you think is a better tip for new traders?
I wish that somebody came up with I wish I knew before I was trading the amount of tears that would be shed. If somebody did that, I would have that's an immediate one.
That would win.
So I actually want to go with God's favor key. If you go a bit higher, but yeah, I would then second hand if I'm supposed to do anything there. But yeah,
This one right
the
here.
journey was going to test my sanity.
Okay. Emotional intelligence, like no. You know what? Honestly, Ivan, I didn't even see this one, and I like this one too. So I think we should make that person the winner.
Kerbal.
Ivan is our guest, so he's our trading coach. So he should probably, when it comes to this sort of stuff, he's probably the one to go to.
That's true. All right, so I'm going to reach out to them by direct message and let them know that they are the winner of our 1 month VIP Discord giveaway. And again, we have lots of people sharing their personal experience and what they wish they knew before they started trading down in that thread. So go check us out on Twitter at A1Trading_. I'll get out of y'all's way, and I'm going to go reach out to our winner of the 1 month VIP Discord giveaway.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, of course.
All right. And we are, of course, now back to the charts with the one and only. Hey, Ivan. So we just did some coaching stuff there, which, of course, is your forte. Ivan does, for those of you guys who are in the audience, Ivan does coaching webinars throughout the week within our Discord channel. He's answering questions and working with members all the time. So, Ivan, pivoting back to the charts here now, what are you looking at here today? You have any? Are you still trading yen pairs?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't hit my stop loss yet. If you look at my screen, that is my entry, and my stop loss is 179.40 actually. So it's still a bit left, but yeah, I'm definitely in losses there. And I was definitely still keeping my euro yen buys.
Nice.
Which is entry is somewhere around there. So for me, it's kind of like, I have profits on euro yen, I have losses on pound yen, but the sun is still shining.
Yep. Well, and that I guess that UK CPI number wasn't too helpful to the pound side, but it's nice to see you got the euro side going on. So you're pretty close on pound yen. If that one stops out again, if euro yen continues to make a run, or if for both of your trades, if the yen kind of goes to weaken from here, it could be, of course, a positive factor there. So will be interesting to keep an eye on that pound yen, though. It really has, it really took a tumble with that CPI number, but euro still really strong. You've got any other yen crosses that you're looking at?
Well, I have been giving the A1 some of the A1 members a very hard time about this CAD yen, because people was buying around here and around here and around here, and I was like, dude, this isn't bullish. And then and asked me when the price was down here, is it still bullish? And I'm like, it's never been bullish. Well, actually now, as this morning, I haven't got a reply, I think, but right now it started to turn around. So to be honest, CAD yen might be actually now being getting into the game of bullishness. The only problem that I have with these yen pairs, because seasonality was supposed to end tomorrow, is that we have Bank of Japan interest rate meeting next week, Friday, and they might change their monetary policy, slightly change the yield curve control. So that might lead to yen strength.
Yep, that's a fair point. I mean, ahead of any sort of central bank meeting, the volatility can be very high. And again, like you mentioned, any signs of, they've hinted at that. If they do pull the trigger on any of it, it could put some pressure on yen pairs. And that will be very, very interesting to watch. What about, do you have anything on Aussie yen or Kiwi yen? I know we had talked about those in the past. Have you been looking at them still or anything?
No, I just saw that New Zealand. I never got to enter New Zealand because I saw New Zealand dollar being so weak, so I never got into New Zealand yen. And then after that, it was there when I was entering the other trade, so it went too far down. But I don't know what happened to Aussie yen. Is that like a CPI or something overnight? But this is still not bullish for me, so I haven't really entered it yet.
Okay, fair enough. And Ivan, we had a tick up in the VIX, and indices sold off overnight. A lot of it was, in response to Tesla earnings kind of being disappointing. at what point, how far do you think this thing has to pull back before it looks intriguing again?
What do you mean by selling off? There's barely a pullback on S&P 500.
I know. Well, at this point, Ivan, we're grasping at straws because this thing never goes down anymore. It used to be the opposite, Ivan. It used to be like it would tick up by like 0.2% in the morning, and the whole world would be like, "Oh my God, it's going up." And now we're on the other side. It ticks down slightly, and everyone freaks out. Yeah, Tesla earnings did a little bit, but I just wonder. You
Yeah.
have these moves. Look at how prolonged this last stretch has been. Are we
Yeah.
entering into a period of like short term kind of a blow off top? Now, I'm not calling for, a bear market by any means, but I get really concerned looking at these, these runs that just go so parabolic at the end here.
Can I give you a small little help
Sure.
with that little parabolic situation?
Yes.
If we get up to 46, I'm out for
Okay.
for 600. So we are very close to target for the month. It can still fall from here, but if you kept, I don't know, and I think Frank had an entry at 43.80 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still in that one, then it's soon to be closed. But there is no other reason to be getting out of here. Like there is no lower lows. It's just a pullback. It hasn't really crossed below the previous higher low. So I'm singing like a bird, happy. And if it comes back down to 45, 20 something, like 4,520, that could be another buy. But this is great. This is still bullish. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said it because, for me, when it comes to the indices, I think right now a lot of people are finding every reason to not participate and to not look at indices as if they're bullish. There's a lot of people. Maybe you stay away from Twitter for a good reason, Ivan. A lot of Twitter
What's going on
is well on Twitter. There's a lot of perma bears, and perma bears are notoriously loud in the content space when it comes to trading because let's be honest, talking about a market crash is more interesting than talking about another day as usual market chugging up. So on Twitter, they get the most views and they get the most responses. So there's a lot of Twitter bears that kind of are eternally bearish on something like the NASDAQ or the indices and in general. And, it's very easy to fall into that trap, but it's like you've got pulled up here. What is this chart we're looking at, Ivan?
Well, I'm just trying to find, has there been any dips in July previously? And maybe, but that's like mid-July. Maybe there's one in August. I would expect a dip in August. But averagely, we just creep higher, and then maybe there's a pullback in October or September or whatever for whatever reason, and then we tick up again. So for me, I'm not really. I'm just I can't really find any reason for why I should get out of here. Other than, first of all, technically we are not really bullish. We're not really bearish. We have had a run, fantastic, great, but why should this one continue on forever? Is that what trend trading isn't this the job you were supposed to be doing? Talk the positive news, talk the actual news, and what is actual news? It's making higher highs and higher lows, for all that I know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I was listening to I was listening to some I was listening to some money managers talking on CNBC last night, and they were talking about how last August we talk seasonality sometimes with Ivan here. If you guys are not familiar with Ivan's style, he does incorporate a lot of seasonal trends and such in his analysis as well as his technicals and that sort of thing. Well, Ivan, I was looking at the seasonality for the month of August, and you mentioned September. September, historically, last 10 years or so, has been a pretty ugly month for markets. And a lot of people point to last August, the markets took a tumble. Last August was not so great for the S&P and for the NASDAQ and things like that. But it's important to consider all avenues of things. Number one, last year, the outlook was totally different than what it is right now. And it's important to just address that, right? Like, CPI is at a much better spot. We have several things. Unemployment has not been destroyed as many people were thinking it would be, right? There's not earnings recessions happening that are crazy. Now, Of course, they could still happen. We're entering earnings season now. But again, you have to kind of look at this thing and say, well, perhaps September, as you mentioned, we could see a slight decline, perhaps some pullbacks in the indices. September and October, both not the greatest in terms of seasonal expectations, but we're still in exactly what we would have expected here in the months of June, July, and lo and behold, August is also expected to be slightly positive. So I'm still in dip buying mode when it comes to the indices based on what I'm seeing. I do think that there is room to pull back. I mean, we're getting the NASDAQ selling off here as we speak, 15,687. I think it has, possibly a checkpoint here. Maybe it finds a bounce there, but if it doesn't, it probably has room to go lower, perhaps around 15,550. So I'm going to give it a shot, I think, on the long side. This is the thing, right? Many people would say, oh, you're chasing this thing. It's still got more room to fall. Maybe it does. But again, I'm just looking at the data that I've got in front of me, and I'm going to calculate my risk. I'm going to put a stop on the trade, and I'm going to try and trade it the best I can. So, Ivan, you've got yen pairs playing out. We've talked indices. Is there anything else on your radar?
We talked about the euro last time I was moaning around, but where is it? But it's coming a bit down, but it's actually paused, was actually against my expectation. But as I just wanted to come back down to 111. It hasn't gotten that yet. So I'm just patiently waiting. Everything is great. Everything is all right. And so it went very fast up. And what can I say? Happy days, because what is the current position? Do we need to trade euro dollar? Do we need to trade S&P? Do we need to trade anything? Nothing at all.
Right.
But for me, just let it come back. Just give it to me, and we will look for an entry, and then it's supposed to go back up again. Anyways, longer term. So the other thing, just to mention about Nasdaq last year in August, that was when we were pricing in a lot more higher interest rates. And that is in turn higher cost financing costs for businesses. So that's a completely different scenario. And now we are maybe ending right cycle. We might be thinking, oh, there's going to be more profits now. So this is going to go up. S&P is going to go up. And Nasdaq is going to go up. And that's just not because I am ultra bull, but it's just the whole system, the whole economy, the whole central bank, everything is prone to markets for businesses to grow and grow and grow and grow, and we can't keep falling forever.
Yep. No, that's the truth. And it's like I was alluding to, it's a very different, and as you just said with the rate hikes, it's a very different time last year to this year. And sometimes you just kind of have to, instead of getting smothered in specifics or concerns or worries, you just kind of have to look at it from a broad perspective and say, okay, things are better now than they were. Things look positive in terms of outlook, and trade it. Find your setups, do your testing, that sort of thing. You've got euro on your watch list. I'm looking at the indices as possible pullbacks, and I think all we can do, like you said, is wait for your setups to come to you. Don't force anything. That's how you eat into possible profitable trading, is to force trades that you shouldn't be taking just because you want excitement. Sometimes there is just nothing to be done. Last week, Ivan, I didn't take any trades. I had one trade. I know. I had one trade that I was trailing a stop on, and I had nothing else going on for a majority of the week. And that's rare. Usually I do take 2 or 3 trades a week. Just depends on what's going on. But it's okay, like you said, to sometimes you don't have to trade these things. So it's a good point.
You haven't gotten anything on USDN, have you?
Nothing on UJ. Have not been trading. Yen, that looks pretty ugly, to be honest with you. That looks
ugly. That looks fantastic, like a reversal of trend, going bullish.
No, not quite to me, at least. That's a tough.
Do we need to do a reversal of trend class, Nick?
Maybe we do, Ivan. Maybe we need to get a special webinar where nobody else could talk. It's just you schooling me on reversal trading. So that'd be great.
Okay, because that's the first entry, by the way.
So I do want to say, guys, I just mentioned it, but I do seriously, man. If you guys would like to spend more time with Ivan and his day-to-day coaching and stuff that he does several coaching webinars per week inside of our Discord channel. He also does one-on-one coaching. If you'd like to learn, if you'd like to spend some time with somebody, going through stuff, he has very, very reasonable prices, and I highly recommend it to anybody who could use some time with somebody who's been doing it for a number of years. Please hit up Ivan. He has his own YouTube channel. We're going to drop in the chat right now. And also, of course, you can find him inside of the A1 Trading Discord channel where he shares his stuff. So Ivan's link is in the chat right now. Just click this, guys, if you'd like to subscribe to him. It's Ivan FX on YouTube. Ivan, thank you for coming on the show, man. As always, sharing some coaching and some trade setups for the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
See you, Ivan. Always good to have Ivan on, guys. He is probably at this point one of our longest term contributors to the show, and we always appreciate him. We even added him on our team. We liked him so much that we had him stick around in our Discord channel, and now he does all the coaching webinars. He does a great job with that. So if that is something you are interested in, like I said, I highly recommend that. I did mention this earlier, guys, but I just want to reiterate in case you have missed it. If you're a live stream show fan, if you watch my channel for a while, if you like our stuff, we are ending our 55% off discount on the EDGEFINDER very soon. We have 2 days left before that price is gone for good. 55% off the software tool that we use very regularly on the stream. Seasonal trends that I showed in today's show. Of course, the COT Smart Money Tracker, the Retail Sentiment tab, and so much more data available to you. If you want access, it's at a one-time price. So there's not a monthly subscription or anything like that. It is a one-time price, and it is currently at the biggest discount ever at 55% off. If you'd like access or like more information, you can chat with us right now by clicking the link that's in the chat right now. It'll take you to Direct Message Center, where you can have a conversation with someone on our staff about the sale and the discount before it does end. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. I hope you got plenty of value out of it. I certainly had a good time and look forward to the next one with you guys. See you next time. There's just 2 days left of our half-off sale on the EDGEFINDER, and I don't want you to miss out. The EDGEFINDER is a trading software tool that traders around the world are using to find better trade setups right now, using things like the Smart Money Tracker, which reflects the COT reports, Retail Sentiment. It also tracks seasonal trends for traders who are looking to take advantage of seasonality, and it creates a watch list each and every day for traders that use this from all over the world. People in North America, in parts of Africa and Asia and Europe are all using the EDGEFINDER to build better data-backed trading setups. If you've been watching the channel for a while and you're familiar with our software, then I want to let you know that our half-off sale is ending soon, and I don't want you to miss out. If you would like to get more information about the software, make sure to message us right now using the link that is down below. You'll be connected directly to someone on our team to ask them about the half-off sale. But wait, it gets better. If you direct message us, it's 55% off. You get an extra 5% off just by messaging someone on our team who can connect you to the tool, get you set up, and if you'd like, you can set up a call to go over the software if that would be helpful to you. We want to make sure this software is a right fit for you. We're not just trying to sell this to anybody, and we'd like to connect and get to know you before we sell you the software. So again, click that link and let us know that you're interested in the half-off sale before it ends. And remember, 55% is available if you do direct message us now.